Double anaerobic thermal shock. That's a different wash process I haven't really ever tried out. So a friend of mine got me a bag of this. Let's try it out together. The first thing I want to note is like the beauty of these beans. We look at the color. The color to me is it's pretty medium. There's not a lot of defects. Maybe some of them have like little holes in them. Well, that's a very bad angle. Sorry. Holes in them like that. Or cracks. Sorry, that's a crack. But yeah, overall very nice looking beans. It's exactly what I expected. The colors are very even, so let's give it a taste. Now, one of the first things I always do when I grab a new bag of beans is I always smell it. So I grinded up some beans here and I smell it. And I compare it to what the flavor profiles are telling me. So here it's supposed to have some strawberry shortcake, lychee, peach, maple syrup. I'm thinking it's going to be really sweet. It smells really sweet. Let's brew it up and see how it tastes. So we've got everything set up. I've already preheated and pre-wet the filters. So here we have 19.1 grams. I mean, I was supposed to be doing 20 grams, but it is what it is. We're gonna first start by doing my standard pour just so we can see what it's like. You break the grinds up, give it a quick tap, 3 taps, that's it. And then we're gonna be using close to 100, so this was just off of boiling just now. And we're gonna start nice and slow. So as we push it out, we can see the color of the crema isn't too dark. This matches with the amount of gases being released. And as we go to the edges, we're just going to loosen up the clumps at the very bottom and move to the edge once more. So I don't see anything specifically unique about this brewing. Or while brewing it, there's nothing different about it being a double anaerobic thermal shock. It is well within my expectations of a normal coffee. At about 180 grams of water, we've already kind of cracked the crust, probably because I moved to the edges twice today. But let's get to the edges and see if there's anything special. So you can see that the crema has kind of come very light colored already. At 280 grams of water, we have finished pouring everything. This is 1 minute and 20 seconds, so 80 seconds. Now I think from my experience, this coffee actually does sink relatively quickly. You can see that even without stirring too much, the coffee or the crema has mostly dissipated already. So with double anaerobics, at this particular time has already sank. So I think this is quite a quick sinking coffee, which means pouring with lower agitation is the way to go. The brew time seems to be pretty good given this is my first time brewing it and it is a test batch. So let's take a look at how the grinds turn out. So in my opinion, this is going to be a fairly well brewed coffee. It hits all my timers, my ratios. It's about a 1 to 15, I guess, because I keep thinking it's 20 grams of beans, but it was only 19. So here it is. I mean, the bed looks really nice. It's not super muddy, a little bit muddy, which is what I'm saying. Like it sank pretty quickly given the brew. So let's talk about this. So now that we finished brewing, I actually think that the bean does sink a little bit faster than expected. So let's talk about what double anaerobic is while I let this cool before I burn myself, as I always do. So anaerobic is when you fermented in low oxygen or no oxygen. I think that's how it goes. That's what I read online. I actually don't know anything about these kind of processing. Maybe I should learn a little bit. Guys, I will do better. But double anaerobic means you actually do it once with all the beans, or with all the pulp and the mucilage, and then you do it a second time after you pulp it. So you that's why it's called double anaerobic. It's done twice. So a thermal shock is when they actually use hot water and then cold water to kind of seal it and bring all the flavors back in. So I am very excited to have had the chance to taste this, and I think actually Hatch is one of my favorite roasters in Canada at the very least. So yeah, I know I'm a roaster myself, but you know, I gotta shout out the boys when they do good. So yeah, here it is. Let's have a taste. Color's great. If you guys notice, I stirred a little bit more towards the end of the brew, but not too much. So my current thought process is to stir until most of the gases dissipate, not all of it. So it just generally I want it to sink at a good rate still. So I'll talk about this another time, but cheers. A lot of fruity notes, higher in the acidity. There's a little bit of a lemony taste to it. Does it have like all the notes that he wrote on it? I mean, it's a good coffee. I get more of a lemony taste. I get the maple syrup that that they've written on there. Lychee a little bit, not so much on the peach or the strawberry shortcake. So when I think strawberry shortcake, I think of a richer texture. I already tried to do that by having more stir to create more of the oils to have a heavier texture, but I'm not really getting that through. I mean, it's a great coffee. Oh, I really do pick up the lychee now. Yeah, it's a great coffee. Don't get me wrong. The double anaerobics for me, in my experience, has been more of a lemony taste or a fruitier taste. There's not so much of the richness. I mean, obviously, most of us that work with the double anaerobics, we aren't looking to roast it onto the darker side. This is a medium, and it still has such brightness. So I would be interested to see what it would be like if it was a little bit higher in the temperature. Let me know in the comments below if you guys actually want me to try and bring one of these weird fermentation processes in to put on my website. So let me know in the comments. But overall, it's been an interesting thing. I don't really know what a thermal shock is supposed to do to the coffees. It is just brighter and more acidic for me. So it's interesting. It's cool. I mean, it's a great learning process. So yeah, thanks so much for watching, guys. I don't see any like unique kind of like things to talk about for like the brewing method. It sank a little bit faster. I mean, I've had faster sinking coffees from like Kenya or like Ethiopia before. So nothing out of the norm. It's a Colombian coffee. It brews fairly similarly to Colombians. Colombians have a good amount of gases at this kind of lighter roast. I think it's about the same, and it sinks at a good speed. So nothing super unique when it comes to brewing, or like, yeah, I think like the double anaerobic doesn't really affect the overall brewing too much, maybe mostly on the flavors. So that's my verdict on the processing itself. Hope you guys learned something. I did. Thanks for watching, guys. Like and subscribe. Catch you guys in the next one. Bye!